Let us pray. Lord, I pray as I race today, keep me safe along the way. Not only me, but others too, as they perform the jobs they do. I know, God, that in a race, I, the driver, must set the pace. But in this race of life, I pray, help me, Lord, along the way. Although I know I am a sinner, help me to believe that with God, you're always a winner.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose rose stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of death with victory and peace? May the heaven-rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must when our cause it is just, and these we are mine. In God is our trust, and the star-spangled banner in triumph shall wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Shh! Hear that? That's the sound of technological advancement happening with each passing second and making you and all you stand for obsolete. HDR, or High Dynamic Range, is the latest and greatest of those advancements, and in a nutshell, it improves the contrast between light and dark, giving you a more accurate reproduction of colour. The technical definition for HDR panels demands a 4K resolution and a contrast ratio of 1000 nits at peak brightness and just 0.05 nits at black level. In case you're wondering, 1 nit is roughly equivalent to the light one candle gives off. But if you'll forgive us the excellent pun, it's not quite as black and white as all that. In a game like Monolith's Middle-earth Shadow of War, it's the difference between seeing the developer's true vision of Tolkien's land and a diluted version of it. Take Mount Doom, for example, an icon of the geography and a perfect demonstration of the game's dramatic visuals. An HDR-capable gaming PC offers more contrast between the glowing lava and the charred rock. In this fight at Gorgoroth at the base of the mountain, Talion takes down some occupying orcs using Celebrimbor's bright blue wraith magic against a backdrop of billowing chimneys and lava lakes. HDR brings out the details in all these elements, producing brighter blues, making the explosions pop, and retaining the inky blacks of each shadow and dark cloud. It isn't only in extreme contrast situations that the benefits of an HDR gaming rig really shine through though. In this dark and gloomy interior, HDR is better able to articulate small differences in shades of a similar colour. So areas that might once have looked washed out in SDR appear atmospheric and immersive. So if you're wondering why HDR really matters in games, just remember Mount Doom and its lovely lava flow. From now until October 16th, when you buy select GeForce GTX 1080 Ti and GeForce GTX 1080 graphics cards, systems and laptops from a participating retailer, you can also bag a bundled copy of Middle-earth: Shadow of War and enjoy the very best PC gaming experience.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the DRL Winter Series main event here at Kentucky Motor Speedway for 80 laps. We are currently riding around with Clay Phillips, who has just hit the inside wall during practice. Tonight should be a real fun event for us, as we will have around 31 drivers taking the field, and for some reason we are getting yellow smoke instead of white smoke here tonight. We did not have that issue in our last race, but seems like tonight we're going to be dealing with some yellow smoke here in off these tires and crashes here tonight. Don't know what's up with that, but it is what it is. We did have some issues there at the end of the race with the microphones and the interviews again, but we got it all straightened out. As long as the drivers stick around for the interviews, we'll try to get them there for you at the end of the race. As of right now, Eric Wolf is sitting on the pole, followed by Clay Phillips, Ryan Hesgard, Marcus Ruttman, and Daniel Hallis, Blake Griffith, Mike Lemon, Brady Briggs, J.R. Haggard, and Bradley Freeman. That's our top 10 as of right now as far as the times are concerned. Excuse me. I need to take this time and go ahead and get my sponsors in real quick. Got to thank Oculus Rift for everything they do for ORN Network. Don't just play a game and get inside of your game. Get an Oculus Rift today. And for a good video card for your Oculus Rift, you need a 1070 or 1080 or better. NVIDIA is one of the leaders in NVIDIA cards, and they do a lot for this network as well. So we like to thank them as our network sponsor. I'm going to take this time to do the breakdown of our standings and last race event standings. So here we go. In our main event last week at Talladega, Ryan Hesgard pulled off his first win. Zachary Smith was second. James Larillo was third. David Wright was fourth. And Brandon Dalton was fifth. In our A split, Brady Briggs won the race. Blake Griffith was second. Anthony Burrows was third. James Larillo was fourth. Ryan Hesgard rounded out our top five. In our B split, Derek Pemberton won the Dega race. Zachary Smith was second. John Mullins was third. Alan Bowman was fourth. And John Peterson was fifth. In our main standings as of right now, Brady Briggs has got a comfortable lead. He's in first place. Zachary Smith is second. James Pandolf is third. Bradley Freeman is fourth. And Jordan Gonzalez rounds out our top five. Unfortunately, I do not believe that Jordan Gonzalez is going to make it tonight. He had a meeting, and that's a shame that he has to work. And he's going to miss out a race. That's going to drop him back into points for sure. Our A split point standings as of right now is Brady Briggs, Blake Griffith, Jordan Gonzalez, Daniel Hallis, and James Pandolf. In our B split standings, C.R. Reed is our leader, Bradley Freeman is second, Zachary Smith is third, Brandon Red is fourth, and Yavis St. Ang is fifth. And I know I butchered his name so bad, but maybe we can get an interview with him here someday and get him to tell me how to pronounce his name. We got a little more than 15 minutes to go in this session. Eric Wolf, like I said, is our lap times leader so far, and he has actually broke into the 31 seconds. He's running a 31.9. Clay Phillips is running a 32.1, so it's going to be pretty close race here tonight, as these drivers from second on back to, well, believe it or not, from second all the way back is just within a couple of tenths of each other. So this is going to be a really good race this evening. I'm going to I don't know what I'm going to do. I drew a blank. Oh. Our air temperature is 83 degrees, and we got some really good wind coming out of the northwest at 8.5 miles an hour. We are here at Kentucky Motor Speedway for 1.46 miles. Looks like our track temperature is a lot cooler than our B race that we just broadcast. We're almost 83 degrees for track temperature, so that should give these drivers a little bit more grip than what they had in the V race. Now the V race was real slick out there, and I don't know how it was for the A race, but we will be broadcasting for the rest of the season the B series split, and got to give these drivers a little bit of air time themselves, not just here in the main event. It's the only air time they've been really getting is when I broadcast the main event. So we're gonna broadcast the rest of the season out with the B splits. We only have 3 more races left, and if I'm not mistaken, our next race will be at Texas Motor Speedway. That should be a really fun race to watch in these trucks, as these drivers get around that 1.5 mile track. It's another cookie cutter track, as I like to call them, because they all try to imitate Charlotte Motor Speedway, but it isn't Charlotte. I'll guarantee you that if you're driving it. It's a big difference between night and day. Clay Phillips is coming in. Looks like he's gonna get some tires, try to go back out and see if he can improve his lap times for a pole city. He's gonna have his work cut out if he's gonna pick it up. And there it is, that yellow smoke again. I don't know what's going on with the yellow smoke here tonight, but that's really weird. Never seen that happen before. Yellow smoke on in a race before. I'm not sure what is going on with that. As of right now, there's the man to beat, Mr. Wolf. And there are 2 lines to get around this track. You got the high line and the very bottom. I'm not a bottom feeder on this kind of a track. You need to ride in the middle or pretty much on the high line, because you just scrub off way too much speed if you're trying to hang on the bottom. Now Eric, he does the arc, and he does almost get to the bottom. He's about a quarter of a lane in on the bottom as he does his arcs, so that allows him to roll through the turns just a little bit better than some of these gentlemen. If they'll watch Eric, they might be able to figure out how to get around this track. Now we do expect to see quite a few cautions in this race here tonight, with self spins, drivers getting up underneath each other and pushing up. But I'm hoping we get a green flag run and a green flag pit stop. That would be real nice to see here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. And as I said, I believe we're going to have right around 34 drivers to take the field here tonight. So that should be real interesting with 34 drivers here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. We got about 10 minutes to go. I don't know what more information I can bring you as of right now. We will be broadcasting next season with our very own DRL TV. We'll be broadcasting the Cup, Xfinity, and our Truck Series on our very own YouTube channel, and it's going to be called DRL TV. If you're a driver and you want to compete in this league, give James Pandolf a shout. There's a link below, and just give him a shout out, and he'll try to get you lined up in one of the series that will be running coming February the 18th. You can run as many series as you want, but you can only be a championship of one. So if you decide to run more than one series, you have to determine what championship you want to run for, because we just don't allow people to end up winning 2 series in our main races. Now in the winter series is a little bit different because we're running A splits and B splits, so there's definitely going to be a championship between the A's and a championship between the B's, and then you got a championship of the main events as well. So in this case you can actually win 2 different championships, and it looks like Brady Briggs is probably going to end up winning the main event and the A splits as far as the championship. He still can lose this race. He can still lose the championship, that is. If he doesn't make a good showing, accident, get took out early, anything can happen. So the championship's definitely not in the bag as of right now. So he's going to have his work cut out for him. And if Eric Wolf has got anything to say about it, he's probably going to become running hard for this championship as well. I don't recall seeing Anthony Burroughs here tonight. That's a crying shame as well, because Eric Wolf and Anthony Burroughs, they really do put on a good show when it comes to those 2 drivers racing. They're exceptionally well. They use their heads a lot, and I believe that these drivers are getting ready to line up to do a practice start. So with that said, we're going to jump up here with Daniel Hallis so we can get a good clean view of the start. Now you can't count Blake Griffith out either. Now Blake Griffith's been on a roll here lately, and he's been doing really well in the main events. So those if I'm biased, it's because I've sat back and watched Brady Briggs and Blake Griffith run, and those are 2 of my favorite drivers to watch here at in the main events and in the A series as well. And it looks like they're away, and it looks like Blake Griffith got a really good start. And if this is any idea how the race is going to go with the start, looks like it's been pretty clean. Clay Phillips is back here in the back, and they're battling it out. Looks like he almost was thinking about doing 3 wide. I've seen, yeah, Bradley Freeman and Blake Griffith, and it looks like the Clay Phillips. They're going to work around and trying to get 3 wide here at this track. I just don't know if I want to be 3 wide at this track. Now, if this is any indication of how the race is going to go, we're going to have a lot of work cut out for me broadcasting this race here this evening with a lot of battles going on. And they are 4 wide, 3 wide. Wow. And they made it through. I don't know how they done it, but they made it through. 15 has just got tagged. Hang on to it, brother. Hang on to it. Oh, he almost hung on to it. And we got trucks everywhere. Again, I don't know what's up with the yellow smoke. That's weird. Never seen that before. Not at no night race anyway. You got just a little bit more than 5 minutes to go. I'm gonna take a quick break, rest my voice for just a minute, get me something nice cold to drink, clear my throat, and get ready to do this race.
Shh! Hear that? That's the sound of technological advancement happening with each passing second and making you and all you stand for obsolete. HDR, or High Dynamic Range, is the latest and greatest of those advancements, and in a nutshell, it improves the contrast between light and dark, giving you a more accurate reproduction of colour. The technical definition for HDR panels demands a 4K resolution and a contrast ratio of 1000 nits at peak brightness and just 0.05 nits at black level. In case you're wondering, 1 nit is roughly equivalent to the light one candle gives off. But if you'll forgive us the excellent pun, it's not quite as black and white as all that. In a game like Monolith's Middle-earth Shadow of War, it's the difference between seeing the developer's true vision of Tolkien's land and a diluted version of it. Take Mount Doom, for example, an icon of the geography and a perfect demonstration of the game's dramatic visuals. An HDR-capable gaming PC offers more contrast between the glowing lava and the charred rock. In this fight at Gorgoroth at the base of the mountain, Talion takes down some occupying orcs using Celebrimbor's bright blue wraith magic against a backdrop of billowing chimneys and lava lakes. HDR brings out the details in all these elements, producing brighter blues, making the explosions pop, and retaining the inky blacks of each shadow and dark cloud. It isn't only in extreme contrast situations that the benefits of an HDR gaming rig really shine through though. In this dark and gloomy interior, HDR is better able to articulate small differences in shades of a similar colour. So areas that might once have looked washed out in SDR appear atmospheric and immersive. So if you're wondering why HDR really matters in games, just remember Mount Doom and its lovely lava flow. From now until October 16th, when you buy select GeForce GTX 1080 Ti and GeForce GTX 1080 graphics cards, systems and laptops from a participating retailer, you can also bag a bundled copy of Middle-earth Shadow of War and enjoy the very best PC gaming experience.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little under 2 minutes to go before qualifying. Got to remind everybody that we will be broadcasting. I have no idea what is going on. Looks like he decided to do a replay for no reason. Let's hope. Wow, and it's going to start this again. I don't know what's going on. Well, you know what? Before we give it a chance to settle down real quick, because I don't want no bouncing around like we had the last session. Last session I ended up having to restart twice get back in here to clear everything up. It looks like it's cleared up, thank God. But as I was saying, we will be... Nope, it's going to do it again. Alright, we're not going to be able to bring you qualifying, so we're going to go back to a commercial, and I'm going to log out and get back in this event real quick. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen, but I want to be able to bring you a decent race.
Shh! Hear that? That's the sound of technological advancement happening with each passing second and making you and all you stand for obsolete. HDR, or High Dynamic Range, is the latest and greatest of those advancements, and in a nutshell, it improves the contrast between light and dark, giving you a more accurate reproduction of colour. The technical definition for HDR panels demands a 4K resolution and a contrast ratio of 1000 nits at peak brightness and just 0.05 nits at black level. In case you're wondering, 1 nit is roughly equivalent to the light one candle gives off. But if you'll forgive us the excellent pun, it's not quite as black and white as all that. In a game like Monolith's Middle-earth Shadow of War, it's the difference between seeing the developer's true vision of Tolkien's land and a diluted version of it. Take Mount Doom, for example, an icon of the geography and a perfect demonstration of the game's dramatic visuals. An HDR-capable gaming PC offers more contrast between the glowing lava and the charred rock. In this fight at Gorgoroth at the base of the mountain, Talion takes down some occupying orcs using Celebrimbor's bright blue wraith magic against a backdrop of billowing chimneys and lava lakes. HDR brings out the details in all these elements, producing brighter blues, making the explosions pop, and retaining the inky blacks of each shadow and dark cloud. It isn't only in extreme contrast situations that the benefits of an HDR gaming rig really shine through though. In this dark and gloomy interior, HDR is better able to articulate small differences in shades of a similar colour. So areas that might once have looked washed out in SDR appear atmospheric and immersive. So if you're wondering why HDR really matters in games, just remember Mount Doom and its lovely lava flow. From now until October 16th, when you buy select GeForce GTX 1080 Ti and GeForce GTX 1080 graphics cards, systems and laptops from a participating retailer, you can also bag a bundled copy of Middle-earth Shadow of War and enjoy the very best PC gaming experience.
We seem to be experiencing some issues getting back in the race. If it'll ever load up, I'm hoping to get back in before the actual race starts. I just don't want it bouncing around and everything with 31 drivers. That's just not a type of race that I want to be a part of. Looks like 60 hit the wall. Just bear with me a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get this thing straightened out. I'm not even in a race. There we go. And I'm lucky. I think I got back in just in time. It looks like Eric Wolf is our pole sitter. It looks like Airwolf is on the pole. James Larillo is second. Clay Phillips is third. Marcus Ruckman fourth. Blake Griffith fifth. Justin Rodden sixth. Ryan Hesgard seventh. Brandon Dalton eighth. Daniel Hallis ninth. Robert Tyus rounds out our top 10. Mark Vega is 11th. Eric Keplinger is 12th. Kenneth Lehman is 13th. Mike Lemon 14th. Chris James 15th. Zachary Smith 16th. David Wright 17th. Ray Vazquez, I hope I pronounced that right, is 18th. Christopher Pope, I believe he's a new driver, is 19th. J.R. Haggard is 20th. Dustin Moselle is 21st. Bradley Freeman 22nd. Bruce Pearson 23rd. John Mullins 24th. Chris Hemphill 25th. C.R. Reed is 26th. Tater Bowman is 27th. James Pandolf 28th. William Edwards is 29th. Cody Gatsky is 30th. Robert Larandy is 31st. Brady Briggs, upset, and I was not expecting him to be back here in the back. He's 32nd. Bob Cunningham is 33rd. Yavis St. On 34th. And Richard Springer rounds out the field in 35th position. I do believe there was 2 drivers that did not qualify. Yeah, we have a field of 35 showing and 36 drivers are in, and this is really going to upset me if we end up still having a bunch of flashing and everything. Give me just a second. I'm hoping that the field will straighten itself out and we don't end up with a bunch of lag here tonight. Got the pace car doing a lot of flashing for sure. We got what we got. I will not restart again for this race. The pace car is in.
Green, green, green.
And the green flag is out. We are away here at Kentucky Motor Speedway for 80 laps, the DRL Winter Series. And it looks like Eric Wolf got him a really good start. Clay Phillips is second. As the field starts to settle in, and it looks like we are going to have a few cars that's going to bounce around. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm hoping that's just that driver and not my connection. I don't know what's going on here lately with being able to bring to you a really good race in our splits and then coming in and getting cars bouncing around. I don't know if Ryan Branch is having the same issue as well, as he is broadcasting simultaneously with me. He's giving his feet wet in broadcasting. Well, the wife's mad at me. I ate her apple pie. I didn't know it wasn't mine, so it'll be alright. Got that McDonald's apple pie with my meal this afternoon. I seen it in the bag and I scarfed it down. She comes in here about 3 hours later wanting to know if I got it. And you know I did. I like apple pie. We've been green so far. 4 laps into this race. We are experiencing quite a few cars that are bouncing around. I don't know what to do about it. I'm not sure if it's a connection issue on my end or what, but it seems like every night around this time here lately, we've been just getting that, you know, trucks just bouncing around everywhere. Eric Wolf is our leader, and he's not quite pulling away as much as I thought he would. And if this continues, ladies and gentlemen, I will have to redo it. I'm not going to sit here and bring you 80 laps of trucks jumping around. We'll give it until lap 10 to sort itself out. If it doesn't sort itself out by then, we'll try again. That's all I can do. Yeah, it's good 5 or 6 trucks right there in a row that are doing it, so you'll just have to bear with me. Now we got it going on with the leaders. So it doesn't look like it's getting better, it actually looks like it's getting worse. Well, it's going to take me about 4 minutes to get back in and get situated once again, so we'll take this time and go to a quick break and try to get back in here and bring you this race.
Shh! Hear that? That's the sound of technological advancement happening with each passing second and making you and all you stand for obsolete. HDR, or High Dynamic Range, is the latest and greatest of those advancements, and in a nutshell, it improves the contrast between light and dark, giving you a more accurate reproduction of colour. The technical definition for HDR panels demands a 4K resolution and a contrast ratio of 1000 nits at peak brightness and just 0.05 nits at black level. In case you're wondering, 1 nit is roughly equivalent to the light one candle gives off. But if you'll forgive us the excellent pun, it's not quite as black and white as all that. In a game like Monolith's Middle-earth Shadow of War, it's the difference between seeing the developer's true vision of Tolkien's land and a diluted version of it. Take Mount Doom, for example, an icon of the geography and a perfect demonstration of the game's dramatic visuals. An HDR-capable gaming PC offers more contrast between the glowing lava and the charred rock. In this fight at Gorgoroth at the base of the mountain, Talion takes down some occupying orcs using Celebrimbor's bright blue wraith magic against a backdrop of billowing chimneys and lava lakes. HDR brings out the details in all these elements, producing brighter blues, making the explosions pop, and retaining the inky blacks of each shadow and dark cloud. It isn't only in extreme contrast situations that the benefits of an HDR gaming rig really shine through though. In this dark and gloomy interior, HDR is better able to articulate small differences in shades of a similar colour. So areas that might once have looked washed out in SDR appear atmospheric and immersive. So if you're wondering why HDR really matters in games, just remember Mount Doom and its lovely lava flow. From now until October 16th, when you buy select GeForce GTX 1080 Ti and GeForce GTX 1080 graphics cards, systems and laptops from a participating retailer, you can also bag a bundled copy of Middle-earth Shadow of War and enjoy the very best PC gaming experience.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like everything's cleared up. Just give me a second to get ATVO back up and we'll be ready to go. Looks like the 17 going backwards. Looks like he had to get off of the gas real quick. We'll get ATVO up here in just a minute. We'll get everything situated. Of course, we are 17 laps into the race and we are still green flag racing. Eric Wolf is still our leader. And Blake Griffith has moved his way up into second place while we were away. And it does look like our bouncing around issues have worked its way out. And Eric Wolf is now getting ready to be challenged by Blake Griffith. Clay Phillips is not far behind. We'll stick up right here for a few minutes and see how this plays out. I'm going to assume that we've been green flagged for the whole time as we are approaching the lap 20 of this race. Still got a little more I got to set up, but work through it as we can. Don't believe Blake Griffith is going to be able to make that move on Eric just yet. We'll drop back here and we'll see what Kenneth Lehman's doing. Looks to me like there's not really much of a battle there. Ryan Hesgard, he's in a battle right now between Mike Lemon and Brandon Dalton and Daniel Hallis. I do like them Ghostbuster trucks. Ghostbusters is one of our sponsors. They're kind of like Make-A-Wish Foundation. They do what they can as a charity to help other charities out with kind of like Make-A-Wish Foundation. They do a really good work, and we're a real proud sponsor. We're really proud to have them as sponsors for our series that we put on here at DRL. Bradley Freeman has moved his way up into the 14th position. Brady Briggs is up into 16th, and he's got a bunch of trucks around him. Looks like the 3 is taking a look under the 96. That's Bruce Pearson is taking a look under Christopher Pope. And looks like Brady Briggs is going to try to go with the 3. I hope you don't try to shoot that hole right there in the middle. Now these trucks are 11 seconds back off the leader. We're back up front, and Eric Wolf is pulled away by almost a half a second off of Blake Griffith and Clay Phillips. Clay Phillips has actually caught Blake Griffith. And with 24 laps on these tires, it looks like they may be going away pretty fast here tonight. Heard a couple of drivers talking about 10 laps into the race, they were just losing almost a full second a lap. I don't know if that was due to the 113 track temp or not, but let's see if we can't bring that back up. Yeah, our track temperature tonight is just 82 degrees. So it's got a lot more traction than they had in the B series anyway. David Wright's got him a new paint scheme tonight instead of that pink truck he was running last weekend. Looks like Richard Springer's moving his way up. And Brady Briggs is to the outside. He's trying to get around Bruce Pearson. That's the thing about running the bottom. You scrub off way too much speed when you run the bottom. You need that high line to be able to roll through the turns. And as you can see, Brady gets a little run right there. And I believe he's actually going to be able to make his pass now. And he does. He brings the 20 with him. And the 20th is Marcus Bruckman, who got a little loose right there. And I don't know if it's going to start that again or not. Got the 87 on the bottom. We're going to sit right here for a few minutes and see if it clears up. It is what it is right now, ladies and gentlemen. I will not be resetting this game. You're going to get what you get here tonight. If it's a network issue, it's a network issue. Just can't keep restarting the sessions to bring you this race. And we got a lap car 82. Just been passed, and that is Mark Vega. That's a tough break for Mr. Vega. I don't know. Let me look back to see if he's actually, yeah, he's actually come in and made his pit stops. They are making pit stops now. Some of these drivers are making pit stops. And it looks like Mr. Vega is going to get around Eric Wolf to get himself back on the lead lap. Wolf's just going to let him go because Wolf knows he's going to have to come in for tires here soon.
All right, man, caution is out.
And we do have a yellow flag. Not sure what it is. Let's see if we can't. And it looks like it's the 96. That's Christopher Pope. And Christopher's running the high side, and he is just lost it and goes back into the 20 and takes Brady Briggs out as well. And the 20 was Marcus Ruckman. So Christopher Pope just lost it on his own and collect 2 drivers out of that. He was smart enough to hold his brake to keep him coming back down the track though. So that's a good job on Mr. Pope. And it looks like our leaders will be coming in this time. I'm really not sure why we keep getting this network issue here. But our leaders are down pit road. Looks like John Mullins decided to stay out to get him a lap lead. And I don't know if Blake Griffin's going to get him a speeding penalty or not. He looked like he was traveling awful fast to get in front of Eric. Well, we got a little less than 50 laps to go here tonight. And I just really don't want to try and restart this again. I think maybe next weekend or next Tuesday night I'll try restarting my computer in between races. I may actually be able to do something for the network issues that we're having. Of course now I can't restart it now. If I do, I'll lose the feed. And there is just way too much bouncing around. I hope Ryan Branch is not having the same issues as well. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but it looks like I'm going to have to in order to bring y'all a good race. We'll see how this restart goes first, as we got a bunch of trucks just getting ready to get the wave around. Once we get green flag racing, ladies and gentlemen, I will try to do this one more time to restart this server setting and see if we can't bring you a good clean race. Just can't deal with this jumping around. The lights are out. Pace car's getting ready to tuck in.
Green, green, green.
And we are green flag racing. And Eric Wolf decided to jump right in behind Blake Griffith. So now that we are green flag racing, we're going to take a quick break and try to bring you this race.
Alright, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Shh! Hear that? That's the sound of technological advancement happening with each passing second and making you and all you stand for obsolete. HDR, or High Dynamic Range, is the latest and greatest of those advancements, and in a nutshell, it improves the contrast between light and dark, giving you a more accurate reproduction of colour. The technical definition for HDR panels demands a 4K resolution and a contrast ratio of 1000 nits at peak brightness and just 0.05 nits at black level. In case you're wondering, 1 nit is roughly equivalent to the light one candle gives off. But if you'll forgive us the excellent pun, it's not quite as black and white as all that. In a game like Monolith's Middle-earth Shadow of War, it's the difference between seeing the developer's true vision of Tolkien's land and a diluted version of it. Take Mount Doom, for example, an icon of the geography and a perfect demonstration of the game's dramatic visuals. An HDR-capable gaming PC offers more contrast between the glowing lava and the charred rock. In this fight at Gorgoroth at the base of the mountain, Talion takes down some occupying orcs using Celebrimbor's bright blue wraith magic against a backdrop of billowing chimneys and lava lakes. HDR brings out the details in all these elements, producing brighter blues, making the explosions pop, and retaining the inky blacks of each shadow and dark cloud. It isn't only in extreme contrast situations that the benefits of an HDR gaming rig really shine through though. In this dark and gloomy interior, HDR is better able to articulate small differences in shades of a similar colour. So areas that might once have looked washed out in SDR appear atmospheric and immersive. So if you're wondering why HDR really matters in games, just remember Mount Doom and its lovely lava flow. From now until October 16th, when you buy select GeForce GTX 1080 Ti and GeForce GTX 1080 graphics cards, systems and laptops from a participating retailer, you can also bag a bundled copy of Middle-earth Shadow of War and enjoy the very best PC gaming experience. Shh! Hear that? That's the sound of technological advancement happening with each passing second and making you and all you stand for obsolete. HDR, or High Dynamic Range, is the latest and greatest of those advancements, and in a nutshell, it improves the contrast between light and dark, giving you a more accurate reproduction of colour. The technical definition for HDR panels demands a 4K resolution and a contrast ratio of 1000 nits at peak brightness and just 0.05 nits at black level. In case you're wondering, 1 nit is roughly equivalent to the light one candle gives off. But if you'll forgive us the excellent pun, it's not quite as black and white as all that. In a game like Monolith's Middle-earth Shadow of War, it's the difference between seeing the developer's true vision of Tolkien's land and a diluted version of it. Take Mount Doom, for example, an icon of the geography and a perfect demonstration of the game's dramatic visuals. An HDR-capable gaming PC offers more contrast between the glowing lava and the charred rock. In this fight at Gorgoroth at the base of the mountain, Talion takes down some occupying orcs using Celebrimbor's bright blue wraith magic against a backdrop of billowing chimneys and lava lakes.
And we're back, and it looks like the pace car is getting ready to duck in. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. It is a server issue. I noticed as I relaunched that we are experiencing a server side issue, so it's not got anything to do with me. The green flag is out and we are back racing. We're 40 laps and so we're halfway home. Maybe this time it'll stay warp free. Blake Gripper's got him a really good start, and he's almost a half a second in front of Eric. And it looks like Daniel Hallis is taking a look on the inside of Eric as they enter up into the backstretch. He was not able to complete that pass. He's way off the track. He's trying to use every inch to get around him. And Eric Wolf has closed that gap just a little bit. David Wright has took a look on the inside of the 41 of James Larilio, and I believe he's going to make that pass. They get close right there in the triover. And he does actually make that pass. We got Brady Briggs is back here. Apparently he's took his one and only fast repair because his truck looks really good. We got Richard Springer, not really sure where he started. Let's see if we can't get that information real quick. No, we're not going to get it because of the session restart. But that's okay. Our leader is Blake Griffith, followed by Eric Wolf, Daniel Hallis, Brandon Dalton, Clay Phillips. That's our top 5. And the 72 is taking a look underneath Richard Springer. That is Mike Lemon. And Brady Briggs is taking a look again up underneath the 41 of James Larilio. It's a pretty good battle right here for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And Brady Briggs was able to complete his pass. 72 has not quite made it around Richard Springer just yet. And the 41 of Mr. Lemon has decided to do a crossover, but he's not going to be able to pull it off. And the server takes a dump again.
Alright, man, caution is
And
out.
we do have
Caution
a
is
yellow
out.
this time. And Mr. Freeman's got a lot of damage. Let's see if we can't figure out what happened. Ah, the wreck is in front of him with the 27, and that's Cody Gatsky. So Cody Gatsky's up. I'm really not sure what the deal is on that one, but it appears that it was Charles Hemphill that was involved in it, and Cody Gatsky. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's absolutely nothing I can do. If the server's gonna dump like this, there's nothing I can do about it. This really sucks for y'all as the spectators, and it really sucks for me as a broadcaster to try and bring you this event. I'm assuming that Ryan Branch is having the same issue, and James Pandolf decided he was going to stay out and collect him some bonus points for leading the lap. As we got 4 drivers that decided to stay out. Daniel Hallis said he may end up actually getting him a speeding penalty because he looked like he was hauling some mail right there coming off of pit road. He was not able to pull that off to get around Blake Griffith. Y'all are just gonna have to bear with me tonight with the server being the way it is. We've got 2 of the 4 cautions, I believe, that we've had tonight. There's not much that we can do about this. If this server's going to do like this, we might have to send a message to iRacing and let them know what's going on. I got one of the best internets that you can get. So why am I having a connection issue? I don't know. Should be Eric Kipler, Mark Vega, and Bob Cunningham to get the wave around here. Or maybe not. I hope these gentlemen didn't stay out with 48 laps on their tires and expecting to stay up front. But it is showing Eric Kiplinger as first, Mark Vega second, Bob Cunningham third. So they're going to have 50 laps on their tires when we take the green flag. And I imagine Eric Wolf and Brady Briggs will be making some short work of them gentlemen in front of him. You got Blake Griffith. He is the first car with 2 laps on his tires in the 18 truck. And he's on the inside of Eric Wolf. And I do believe the pace car is getting ready to duck in. Might want to take that green flag off, reset it here. And I believe the pace car is ducking in. And it did.
Green
And
flag,
Eric
green
took
flag.
off, and Clay
Alright, man,
Phillips
caution is
spun
out,
right up
caution is out.
into the 16 of Richard Springer. And we did not complete a lap, and we will be resetting the field. Let me see. Alright. We should be with Clay Phillips, but it's not going to stay on him long enough. Yeah, he's just spun his tires and come right up. Took 62 out as well. And the server took a dump again. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing I can do about it. Leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back's not doing us or you any good. So this is going to be, again, one of the worst broadcasts I've had to make. I don't believe 51 laps on your tires is going to hold out for the last 29 laps of this race. I will be taking a look at Mr. Branch's broadcast to see if he runs into the same issues that I've ran into here tonight. And if it's a consensus of the servers taking a dump on us, then we'll have to get in touch with iRacing to figure out what's going on with our servers. As we spend good money to purchase these servers and work with this broadcasting, we got a lot of time, money, and energy set up into this to try to bring you good quality racing, and we can't do that if it's going to do this to bring y'all a race. It's just, this is not what we want to do. And Mark Vega overshot his pit, and Eric Keplinger and Bob Cunningham both decided to stay out. I don't believe I'd be staying out with 52 laps on my tires. And you gotta think that Blake Griffith, Eric Wolf, and Daniel Hallis and Brady Briggs are all going, what in the world are these gentlemen thinking? They could be experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing here and thinking it's just going to be a bad race for everybody, and maybe be able to hang on to the positions that they're in, but I don't see that happening with 52 laps on your tires. We are here with the entirety of this race. We will not be restarting. I repeat, we will not be restarting. We got what we got. I'm sorry, but there's nothing that I can do. I'll even show you what I'm talking about. As you can see right here, the server is just way maxed out. I got a really good page file and good latency, so it's the server issue. It's not got anything to do with me. So if the server's going to be dumping like that, I can't really broadcast a race if it's going to do that. We will get this in for you, but it is what it is with the broadcasting the way it is. I can't even tell if they're lining up or not. It looks like they're lining up. The pace light should be going out this time by. I think 2 restarts is enough for one night. Well, I don't remember if I did 3 or 2. I know there's not going to be another one. And the lights are out on the pace car, so we should be going green next time by. They head off down the back stretch. See if I can't find me a cigar real quick. As of right now, Eric Kiplinger, Bob Cunningham, Eric Wolf, Blake Griffith, and Brady Briggs is our top 5. I assume it is. With all this bouncing around, it's hard for me to tell.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out, and we are back racing. And the server took a dump. And this is just a real mess, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not even able to call this with all the trucks jumping around. I have no idea what's going on. This is unbelievable. "56 laps into this 80-lap race, and it doesn't look like it's going to clear up any. Bob Cunningham seems to have fell all the way back to the 12th position. Eric Wolf is now your leader. Now it's showing Blake Griffith as the leader. And my Lord, this is giving me a headache trying to watch this. I know it is y'all too. As we approach lap 60 or 59. Blake Griffith looks to me like he's got a pretty
man,
good
caution
lead.
is out. Caution
We do
is out.
have a yellow, surprise, surprise. I'm not even going to attempt to try to figure out where it's at. With all this bouncing around, I'll never be able to figure out what truck did what. I'll try to roll down and see if anybody's falling back. Maybe Mike Lemon. I'm really not sure. I thought maybe we'd at least get the top two drivers or three drivers to settle in and not be flashing as much, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. We got a little less, well, we got right at 20 laps to go. Well, at least maybe we'll get the interviews in and maybe see if it's happening on the track for the drivers as well. I would like to say it's been a fun race to watch, but we haven't seen a race, and we've seen a bunch of warping and flashing and trucks flipping upside down and everything. I'm really not sure what we're going to have to do about this. This is not what we want to bring you, ladies and gentlemen. We want to bring you a nice clean race with clear graphics and everything. And if it's going to continue to do this, we're going to have to think about maybe switching servers or something. I do believe that we are able to choose different servers. I'm just not for sure on that. Well, according to what I'm looking at, Blake Griffith is your leader, Eric Wolf is second, Brady Briggs is third, Eric Keplinger is fourth, Chris James fifth, Brandon Dalton sixth. That's about all I can figure out. Of course, now Brady Briggs is in the picture. This is just so confusing. As you can see, that server is all the way over in the red. Pace lights are out. I really can't tell where they're at, what turn they're in or anything. It appears they're headed down the back stretch. It's going to be a battle between Blake Griffith, Eric Wolf, Brady Briggs. As the pace car gets ready to duck in, we should be green flag racing.
Green flag, green flag.
And that's not a green flag. And Blake Griffith got him a really good start. Or it looked like he did anyway. Yeah, we're going to definitely have to say something to iRacing about this. This is just unbelievable.
Alright, man, caution is out.
And the yellow flag is out again. While we're under yellow, I'm going to see if I can't jump down a channel real quick.
You have to adjust to my racing settings. It's not showing me the back of the packs, but I can't even see these back cars and what they're doing.
Hey gentlemen, are y'all experiencing the same thing I am with the trucks jumping around?
No, sir.
You're not.
No, sir.
No, but I think he also is showing less vehicles on the track too, though.
Yeah, I'm not showing all the vehicles on the track. I'm having issues showing all of these wrecks because it's only showing like 15 or 16 drivers instead of the whole field.
Alright, so I may want to adjust my settings for that. But if I
I'm
do
gonna have
that,
to adjust mine a little bit too.
if I adjust it, then I won't be able to bring the wrecks. But it's showing me.
Exactly.
It's showing
And that's
me,
what I'm trying to do, is be able to bring the wrecks.
right, and it's showing me the server side is just maxed out. I got a solid latency, but the server side is just maxed out. Anyway, y'all get back to broadcasting. I'll see what I can do up here.
Alright, good luck, man. So let's see, Jordan, do you know if I come in here in the options and I go to graphics, how I can see more of the field at once?
To your left, it says max cars.
Max cars.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It is something to do with my side. Really not for sure what it is. I think next week we'll think about restarting in between races. Like I say, I can't restart. If I do, I'll lose our feed, and I don't want to do that, so we'll just have to deal with it. And it looked like Ryan Branch was having some trouble bringing the yellows as well, or the wrecks as well, but I know he needs to he's going to have to set his field to max, and if he does that, he's probably going to run into the same issue that I'm running into. I'm running two 1070s, so there's no reason for this to be happening with two 1070s. This is unreal. We got 13 laps to go. This race is almost over. At least I'll be able to give you the rundown of who won the race and everything. Unofficially, that is, but this is just unbelievable. If you don't mind, reach down there and click thumbs down on the broadcast. There's, like I said, there's nothing I can do about it. So if you want to give me a thumbs down for this broadcast, I completely understand. Or you can give me a thumbs up for trying. A for effort, as I like to say. Maybe we'll get these last 12 laps in green. It's going to be between Eric Wolf, Brady Briggs, and Blake Griffith, it looks like. You got Chris James up there in the mix as well. Just can't get over it doing this. This is the second week in a row that it's done this. We had a good race for the A and B split last week and this week, and then when we come to the main event, it's doing this right here. And I thought maybe it was because I was logged in as a driver, but tonight I've actually made it in as a spectator, and we are Green flag racing once again, and it looks like they're 4 and 5 wide back there. That's not going to work. They seem to sort it out. It's go or go home time now. We got 11 laps to go. Chris James seems to be the solid truck on the track, so, and just as soon as I said that, he started doing his bouncing around as well. Oh, 10 more laps of this bouncing around, ladies and gentlemen, and the yellow flag is out. And since we're under yellow, I am going to go to a commercial.
Hear that? That's the sound of technological advancement happening with each passing second and making you and all you stand for obsolete. HDR, or High Dynamic Range, is the latest and greatest of those advancements, and in a nutshell, it improves the contrast between light and dark, giving you a more accurate reproduction of colour. The technical definition for HDR panels demands a 4K resolution and a contrast ratio of 1000 nits at peak brightness and just 0.05 nits at black level. In case you're wondering, 1 nit is roughly equivalent to the light one candle gives off. But if you'll forgive us the excellent pun, it's not quite as black and white as all that. In a game like Monolith's Middle-earth Shadow of War, it's the difference between seeing the developer's true vision of Tolkien's land and a diluted version of it. Take Mount Doom, for example, an icon of the geography and a perfect demonstration of the game's dramatic visuals. An HDR-capable gaming PC offers more contrast between the glowing lava and the charred rock. In this fight at Gorgoroth at the base of the mountain, Talion takes down some occupying orcs using Celebrimbor's bright blue wraith magic against a backdrop of billowing chimneys and lava lakes. HDR brings out the details in all these elements, producing brighter blues, making the explosions pop, and retaining the inky blacks of each shadow and dark cloud. It isn't only in extreme contrast situations that the benefits of an HDR gaming rig really shine through though. In this dark and gloomy interior, HDR is better able to articulate small differences in shades of a similar colour. So areas that might once have looked washed out in SDR appear atmospheric and immersive. So if you're wondering why HDR really matters in games, just remember Mount Doom and its lovely lava flow. From now until October 16th, when you buy select GeForce GTX 1080 Ti and GeForce GTX 1080 graphics cards, systems and laptops from a participating retailer, you can also bag a bundled copy of Middle-earth: Shadow of War and enjoy the very best PC gaming experience.
Well, we're going to try to bring it to you, ladies and gentlemen, the best I can. I have lowered the number of trucks that we're going to be seeing to 13. That's about the best I can do for right now. I'm hoping this will at least let us get the last few laps in here. It's going to stay up front, and maybe they won't bounce as bad. But like I say, I'm running SLI 2 1070, so there's no reason for this to be doing that. And I got 32 gigabytes of RAM in this machine with a 4.3 processor, 8 cores. So I mean, this is an awesome machine that I'm on. Why it's doing this, I have no idea. But right now it looks to me like we've solid out to at least the top 10 trucks just by removing some of the trucks that it's trying to load up for us. So we'll try to get this race here in with the best quality that I can get here at the end of this race. But I've never had this problem. I broadcasted 5 races with 35 plus cars on the track and didn't run into any of this issue into the last 2 weeks. For the last 2 weeks, it's been doing this since the last 2 updates. We had an update today and we had an update last Tuesday as well. And I'm not sure if there's something to do with the updates or what that is doing this, because it can't be my machine. And we will be 5 laps to go when we restart. And Blake Griffith, Eric Wolf, Brady Briggs, Brandon Dalton, Chris James is our top 5. I think Brady Briggs is trying to get up there around Blake Griffith. I know Brady wants another win. Pace car is in.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. Blake got him a really good start. Eric cuts down across the nose of Brady Briggs. Clay Phillips and Bruce Pearson are trying to get around the 60 truck. I gotta put my glasses back on. Ryan Hesgaard's right there in the mix of things as well. I'm gonna come back up because I don't want to miss a pass for the lead. Blake Griffith's doing a really awesome job. He's got him a little bit of breathing room, not much. Brandon Dalton's hanging right there with him. So we got 4 trucks right there in the line with 5 laps to go. Clay Phillips is doing everything he can to get around Justin Rodden, and the yellow flag is out. With 4 laps to go, I believe that may be it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if we'll get that green-white checkered or not, because when they cross this time, it'll be 3 to go. If this is the end of the race, it will be Blake Griffith, Eric Wolf, Brady Briggs, Brandon Dalton, Chris James, Justin Rodden, Clay Phillips, Ryan Hesgard, Eric Keplinger, and James Pandolf will be our top 10 drivers if we finish the way it is right now. Not sure what's going on. Oh, they're waiting on the pace car. So I doubt we get our green-white checker. Blake Griffith has really did him a really good job of running this race here tonight. Brady Briggs has did an awesome job by coming up, finishing in the top 3. I'm not really sure where he started. I believe he started way back in the back. Actually, I'm pretty sure he started way back in the back. But he's worked his way up through the cautions and everything to be in the top 3, so he's did an awesome job as usual. I believe Blake Griffin was back there in the back as well. Eric Wolf only lost 1 position as he was our pole sitter. I do believe it is going to finish under yellow. As they come across, it will be white flag to go this time by, it should be. And with that being the white flag, then it will finish under yellow. It's a shame that the race has to finish like this. I would really like to have brought you a decent broadcast here this evening, but it looks like we got gremlins to still work out again. But Blake Griffith and Brady Briggs have done an awesome job to get back up in the 1, 2, 3 positions. So we'll try to get Blake Griffith in as soon as possible. And this is the white flag, so this final lap will finish under yellow. Giving our winner, Blake Griffith. Got to give it out to Blake Griffith. He's done an awesome job here in this series. Brady Briggs has too. We'll let this thing roll on through, and then we'll try to get our interviews in. I apologize again, ladies and gentlemen, for our mess that we've had for these last two broadcasts. See, I can run 43 cars when I'm racing and don't have no problem. And haven't had a problem for the last 5 races. But for race number 6 and race number 7, we had an issue. Or 5 and 6. And Blake's going to take him a victory lap. Eric is too, and so is Brady Briggs. And the fireworks go off in the background. Well deserved win there from Blake Griffith. See if he wants to do him a little bit of donuts. As I scroll through and see if I can't find the drivers that we're going to interview. And Blake Griffith is all by himself, so we'll go ahead and move him up. He's burning it down. Hey Blake, you got a copy?
Yeah, man, how's it going?
How's it going with you this evening?
Well, awesome right now.
I bet so. You got your win out of it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was worried about tonight. I didn't turn one lap until the A-split session started. I've just been busy all week, so I hadn't got to run any laps. And that first race, I kind of struggled with saving and trying to maintain tires, but worked out for the best. I'm really happy with the win.
Well, for a man who can come out here and run a few laps and then get the hang of it and pull off a win, you did an awesome job, brother.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. It was an awesome night. It was fun, but like I said a little while ago, I don't care to admit it. If it went green, we hadn't had all those cautions, I think Eric would have passed me. The guy's just insane fast. Plus he's like 2,000 I rating higher than me. So anytime I get to race with him, it's a privilege. I enjoy learning from him and running behind him. But
yeah.
Anytime I get to beat him, it's even better.
I know that's right. One of these days I might actually beat him fair and square without him getting took out of a race. But you got anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah. I've beat him twice, fair and square. I didn't think it ever happened, but yeah, shout out to James and Ryan Branch, Tater, Martin, you for broadcasting, for all the guys that broadcast and put this league on. It's a ton of fun. Really appreciate it. Thanks to Brady and Eric and all those guys racing up front. They're really clean and done a great job. And most of all, big thanks to my team, CCR, Cross Continent Racing. All those guys are great. Gary's put on an awesome team, and they've taught me a ton. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here right now.
Well, we'll see you next week at Texas Motor Speedway. See if you can't pull it off again.
Yes, sir. We'll see you then.
Eric Wolf, you there, brother? Let me see if you got a copy, Eric?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, brother. Well, you got you a second place finish tonight.
Yeah, it's a pretty good race. A little bit slow in the pits, but I got to work on that. These new pit stops kind of have me a little bit confused. But a great job for, can't even remember. Great job to Blake. He earned that win tonight. I know the cautions, we were discussing the cautions kind of played out where we never really had a green flag run the last 30 laps, but he earned it fair and square. Great restarts all night, good in his passing of traffic, and he had good pit road execution.
I don't know what it is between you and Anthony Burroughs running that high side, but y'all sure can't get it done.
Yeah, the high side's kind of tough. I mean, normally the low side's a little bit better, but sometimes with your brake bias shifted toward the rear, you can get the vehicle, whether it be the Cup car, the Xfinity car, the truck, you can get it to rotate and get a run off the high side.
Well, brother, you got your second place finish tonight. You got anybody you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, congrats to Blake. Again, like I said, he really earned that win tonight, and everybody else in this league for coming and participating, and James for putting it on. It's a lot of fun.
Big 10-4 there, brother. Well, Brady Briggs is currently in an interview with our other broadcasters, so we'll give him just a second to finish up, and we'll try to get an interview with him. Let's try if we can't find Brandon Dalton. I know he deserves a interview because we messed him up last week. Hey Brandon, you got a copy? Mr. Dalton, you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, we're going to get you in before we get Brady Briggs, as he's in another interview. But you got you a top 4 finish tonight. How's that feel?
Man, I was running top 5 through most of the race, and I got caught up in some stuff on old tire restarts, and that fight back was just incredible. It feels so good to be able to run a good race like that.
Well, you hung in there. You got you a top 5 finish. You did pretty good last week too, didn't you, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, sir. I think I pulled a 5th out last week.
Yep, actually you sure did. No, you got 5th place. Well, I just wanted to get you an interview in, since how your interview didn't go so well last week. You made it back into an interview spot, so I just wanted to get you up in here. You got anybody you want to give a quick shout out to?
Thank you again for the consideration and the opportunity. I'd like to first thank the field of drivers that put up a great fight against us. Man, what a battle. Thank you to my family for allowing me to come in here and do this stuff with you guys every other Tuesday. Shout out to my dad, lost him last month. And thank you guys, thank DRL for putting this on. I'm just really grateful for everyone involved.
Well, we're glad to have you, brother. We'll catch you next week in Texas.
I look forward to it. Shout out, plug myself, of course, Build85 on YouTube. Watch me race. Thank you guys so much again for the opportunity, and I look forward to seeing you guys at Texas.
Yes, sir, brother.
All the best, man. Thank you.
Go. And we're going to get our 3rd place interview with Mr. Brady Briggs. You got a copy?
Hey, David, I got you. Go ahead, bud.
Well, you was busy a few minutes ago, so I was going to let you get it in over there with Mr. Branch. So, top 3 again, leader in the points of the A standings, and the leader in the points in the main standings. You're on a roll, brother.
Yeah, man, you know, it feels good to be this consistent week in and week out. Really fun racing with these guys up front, too. They're really good racers, so this has been a really good season for me, and there's about 3 races left, so hopefully we can keep this going all the way to the end.
I want to know how you and Bradley, excuse me, I'll get it right in a minute. I want to know how you and Blake Griffith start way in the back and end up getting 1st and 3rd.
Man, you know, I wish I knew the answer too. I think patience came in the key there. Didn't have a good qualifying lap at all. Hit the wall my 1st lap, so it kind of threw off my 2nd lap, which ended me back in the field. So I knew I just had to be patient throughout the race, and was hoping to get up here at the end, which thankfully everything worked out. So yeah, happy to see that.
Well, we're happy to see you back up here again, as you've been consistent week in and week out. I've said it once and I'll say it again. If you have consistency, you win championships. And it looks like you're well on your way to winning the championship this season.
Well, I appreciate it, David. You know, that's the plan. So like I say, hopefully these last 3 races go well, and we can bring her home here at the end.
Yes, sir. You got anybody you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to all the DRL admins, you know, that make this possible. Of course, you, David, up in the booth for bringing this footage to the fans. You know, Blake and Eric up front there. That was a lot of fun racing with them. Congrats to Blake on the win. Parents for watching, fiance for watching, everybody else at home for watching. It's what makes the sport fun.
Well, I'm going to give you a little secret. We didn't have such a great broadcast tonight. The server took a dump on me. Ended up restarting twice, and it still took a dump. So it's really not one of the best broadcasts tonight.
Well, I'm sure you'll get it right for next week, David, because usually your broadcasts are pretty on point. So.
Yeah, we're going to have to do something. We got to get in touch with iRacing and find out what's going on, because tonight was just a mess. I restarted it twice, and man, it was just a mess. But anyway, we thank you, Mr. Briggs, for being consistent and being a part of this league, and we look forward to seeing you at Texas. How's that?
Hey, 10-4, David. Hopefully we'll be having the same conversation next week, my friend.
I hope so too, brother. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try to get a hold of Chris James if he's still around, and get him a quick interview in, as he is our 5th place finisher. I like to try to get the top 5 in if possible, and it looks like Mr. James has already called it a night. So with that said, we're going to give us a quick rundown and get our finishing order and everything, if I can find ATVO to work for me. Results is Blake Griffith finishing 1st, Eric Wolf was 2nd, Brady Briggs was 3rd, Brandon Dalton 4th, Chris James 5th, Justin Rodden 6th, Clay Phillips 7th, Ryan Hesgard 8th, Eric Keplinger is 9th, and John Mullins rounds out our top 10. 11th place was James Pandolf, Bruce Pearson was 12th, Ray Vazquez, I have no. Mr. Ray was 13th, Bradley Freeman was 14th, Cody Gatsky 15th, Robert Tyus 16th, Charles Hemphill 17th, William Edwards 18th, Dustin, I pronounced his name earlier, Dustin Mazel, I'm really not sure, 19th, Tater Bowman 20th, getting tongue-tied here, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the night, but Kenneth Lehman rounds out the 21st position, Mark Vega 22nd, James Larillo 23rd, Yavis St. Ang 24th, Daniel Hallis 25th, Bob Cunningham 26th, Richard Springer 27th, Mike Lemon 28th, Zachary Smith 29th, David Wright is in our 30th position, and C.R. Reed's 31st, Robert Laredo is 32nd, J.R. Hager is 33rd, Casey Drake 34th, Marcus Ruckman 35th, and Christopher Pope rounds out the field in 36th position. Well, that concludes the race tonight here at ORN, here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. And it says 500. Well, it's not Daytona, so it is the Kentucky Motor Speedway 80 lap for the DRL Winter Series. We're going to be here again next Tuesday night broadcasting the B Series race and broadcasting the main event race at 9:30. So the B Series will be at 7:30 and the main event will be at 9:30. We thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for bearing with us tonight and putting up with the server issues that we've had. Please join us again next week, and we'll be here at the same time, same bat channel. Good night and God bless.